Having thought I'd wrap things up in the old town, at least for a little while, the sun decided to come out, and I thought, why not pop back in and take another look around some of the streets and some of the handsome doorways, and of course the absolute abundance of handsome medieval buildings. And why not? Because as things have been going with the weather, you just never know when the sun's coming out again. So random, ordinary buildings, seemingly, but it does make you wonder whether people realised when they constructed these buildings that hundreds of years later, people in the 20th and 21st century and beyond would be admiring their features and their workmanship, of course. The real craft that went into constructing these, I'm going to say it yet again, sorry if it's an overused word, but gorgeous medieval buildings. And over here, a house damaged during the fire of Olivista Church in 1625. Rebuilt afterwards. So this is not how it originally looked, but this design obviously was popular in the mid to late 17th century after the fire. Here we have, my goodness, look how far that tower stretches up. The spire at the very top. This is St. Olave's Church, I believe. I wonder if I'll have any better luck getting in here than I have with some of the other churches and museums. Oh, the door's open. That looks inviting. Let's check first of all. No, this isn't St. Olave's Church. This is the Olivista Church. Oh, it is. Olivista means St. Olave. Okay, this is St. Olave's Church, where there was a fire in 1625, but I guess this one was preserved. Oops. Let's have a discreet look inside, if we can. It is brightly lit at least, which is a benefit for my camera. And for those of us with not particularly great eyesight. It looks as though the actual church itself is closed. You can buy some tourist postcards here. And other iconography. And tickets to the steeple, which aren't particularly appealing to me, I'm afraid. Some very nice handmade or block printed and then inked in with some colour. Alternative to the standard postcards. And why not? Entrance to the church is free, but as I say, it seems to be closed at the moment. Again, my timing is off. And without being able to go into that church either, it's just another one of those churches and things to put on the list of what to do when next in Tallinn. Ooh la la. Isn't that sleek? Must take a lot of polishing, although I imagine if you own this thing, you probably got someone in your employ to do that kind of work for you. Oh, does somebody want to take the risk of getting their Ferrari scratched by parking a little bit askew and in such a narrow space? Again, I suppose if you've got that much money, you can afford to repair the damage. But what would a cheap guy like me know of such things? And I do like these warehouse style Hanseatic buildings which retain these beams up towards the top from which chains, ropes would have been attached to hooks of some kind to then raise and lower sacks and maybe barrels even, and wooden boxes of various products up to those higher levels. Easier than perhaps trying to take the goods off the wagon, then in through the door and up a very narrow winding staircase. Oh, there's a nice motorbike as well, having just admired a Ferrari. A Moto Guzzi. Isn't that attractive? Even for those of us... Oh, hello, little Jack. Jack Russell passing me by. On the way to the park, probably, for his walkies. Yes, very, very attractive motorbike. To my eyes, and once again, I have to admit, I don't ride a motorbike. Can't even ride a bicycle, to be honest. I'm not the most adventurous of travellers, am I? Well, not on paper, perhaps. Initially a father and son house with 1.5 gables, dating 1413. After 1464, a vaulted home chapel for this... Oh, what's this? Better get in closer for this bit. After 1464, a vaulted home chapel for the scandalous Franciscan pater Johann van Hilton was built above the right-hand side archway. There is a unique 15th century well in front of the building. After 1720, notice we haven't got any more information on this scandalous Franciscan pater, which is a shame. But anyway, after 1720, the building was modernised and expanded in the Baroque style. The hall was renovated, adding a gallery of ancestral portraits. Sounds nice, doesn't it? The painting The Abduction of Europe was added to the new family room. There are 3 artistic Baroque furnaces, one of which bears an image of Leda and the Swan. Well, well, well. According to legend, the base woods in front of the house commemorate the visit of none other than, you've guessed it, Tsar Peter I to Burgermeister Johann Jobstson Huyck. So at the moment it looks as though it's a restaurant on one side and the Nordic Council of Ministers office in Estonia. Doesn't look particularly open to visitors, does it? Not right now. Over here, though, I see Estonian Natural History Museum. And And one of our favourite little features of Tallinn, you can still find some fairly unrenovated, but perhaps not for too long, courtyards. Yes, it looks as though they're getting ready actually, not for renovation so much as putting on a little fun event for, it seems as though this is particularly designed for children. Once again, I better get my snout out of there. Probably won't be welcome. Well, not in an unkindly way, I'm sure. I may need to turn off this road here. And there's a better view of St. Olave's from a slight distance. I think I'm going to sneak up Vaimu, or Vaimu, however it's pronounced. This was Lye Street we were on, and now, despite the ugly graffiti, which is rather a letdown, I don't remember in my previous visits to Tallinn there being so much of this ugly graffiti actually just disrespectfully sprayed everywhere and also tolerated. I'm surprised somebody hasn't come along and gotten rid of it. What's in there, I wonder? Well, I can tell you what's in here. The funny thing is, there's, in theory, absolutely nothing to cause you to come into this space. And yet, coming in here... Oh, I lie. Making wild assumptions again. There's a beauty salon. But the point I want to make is, there's nothing obvious to mark this place out on a tourist map. Tourist information aren't going to direct you here. No one is likely, having familiarised themselves with Tallinn, to recommend that you come here. Unless they're the type of person who just sticks their nose into open doorways, enters, possibly at the risk of being shot, but again, we're in Tallinn, so hopefully not. And the reward for sticking your nose in sometimes is you find a lovely little, really unspoiled corner of the old town. Absolutely lovely. What a treat that was to find. Oh, hello. Is this the hair salon again? Suddenly I'm thinking I might be tempted to grow hair. Or consider a head wax, or perhaps a what are they called? Not a duvet, a toupee, that's the word. But maybe not, I think I'm ridiculous enough as it is. Casting my mind back a very long time, must be the best part of 10 years. I think that used to be the entrance to an absolutely fantastic subterranean bar. It was not just a fantastic bar, it also contained a wonderful live music venue. Behind the bar, around the corner from the actual bar itself, I've been trying to rack my brains for the name of the place that no longer exists. I do remember the story being that it was closed down because residents did not appreciate the very loud gatherings which would collect just outside the doorway and partially down the length of that alley. Which is, you know, sometimes you do wonder who's on the city councils and, you know, who makes these decisions, because why should that place get closed down? Wonderfully popular, wonderful atmospheric place. There was an enclosed indoor lounge for smokers. I'm very much not a smoker, but the point I'm making is it did really appeal to anyone and everyone. There was a genuine atmosphere. You were going into a local popular bar when you went there. I'm not really a bar person, but that one stands out as being a wonderful, fun time. But sadly, long since closed. I shouldn't dwell on the past too much, should I? Oh, steampunk. And Read, a second-hand bookshop, presumably. Or, I was about to say, maybe I'm being rude calling it a second-hand bookshop, but no. If it was a first-hand bookshop, sometimes those proprietors, you just see their nose twitch a bit when you say a second-hand bookshop, making a mistake, because they very much don't want you to think they're selling anything other than pristine first editions. But it's not entirely clear to me whether it's going to have English language, other foreign language books, or if it's just purely Estonian. I won't pop in because I feel a little bit as though I would stand out like a sore thumb with this little camera in my hand. Something else that caught my eye over there was I was going to say steampunk, but they've done a variation on that and called it Steam Funk Bistro Cafe. But again, it may be something which sadly belongs in the past. We're in post-COVID times now, and obviously a lot of businesses suffered as a result of the restrictions that were necessary. Yeah, let me know in comments if that place does or doesn't still exist. The other side of the bookshop, entering a nice little quiet, I was going to say square, but as you can see it's a nice quiet little triangle. And this place obviously does still function, and it's very much a part of the attraction of coming to one of Tallinn's most famous bars. Food and drink available, they say. Hell Hunt. No matter where you stay in Tallinn, probably every tourist is going to have Hell Hunt recommended to them, I should say. Hell Hunt translates into gentle wolf. So while Hell Hunt might make you think, that's a good name for a 1980s heavy metal band, perhaps Gentle Wolf would work better with symphonic metal. I'm not sure. Keeping one eye on this Wasp, who seems to find the cord of my external microphone attractive. Don't really want to get stung by a wasp if I can help it. Stating the obvious. Coming back out into the sunshine. I'm assuming over the road there we've got the Swedish Embassy. Showing its support for Ukraine since Putin's Russia decided to attack and invade and wage a horrendous war of multiple atrocities on that land. Again, very handsome doorway. There must be something interesting in there, you think. And Tallinn Camera Orchestra. Not orchestra, but Rorchestra. I better look at this useful information board to get some more information. Oh, and I'm so glad that I did, Remember those Brotherhood of Blackheads from a previous video? The Tallinn Brotherhood of Blackheads, established in 1399, leased the Pick Street building, we're on Pick Street at the moment, in 1517 and added a big festival hall to it in 1531 to 32, the initial ornament paintings of which can still be seen in the windows. In 1597, the facade was renovated by the builder stonecutter Arendt Passer, in addition to the coat of arms of the Brotherhood that bears the picture of Saint Mauritius. The stone decor also represents the portraits of the landlords, King Sigismund III and Queen Anna, the coats of arms of Tallinn's partner factories in the Hanseatic League, the Steel Yard in London, Peter's Court in Novgorod, the Oosterlinghuis in Bruges, and Tiskebriggen in Bergen. No, the Wasp is back. Above these, blackheads on a tournament. Justice, peace, and Christ Almighty can be seen. Why on earth is this wasp hovering around my forefinger? The rooms in the House of the Blackheads and Olive's Guild were modernised between 1908 and 1922. What's unclear is what it functions as now. And I think I may have to stop filming at the moment because of this wasp. Why?